If you want to know how we feel about Adam Driver, all you have to do is listen to anything John Oliver says about him. The actor got his start as Will Slansky in a 2009 TV series, The Unusuals. And ever since then, he's been rising to the top. Today, we're counting down 10 of his best movies yet. And we'll be using the tomato meter to do it. Let's get started. Coming in at number 10, Gaby. Gaby stands at a healthy 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. The story follows Jen, a yoga instructor, and her gay best friend, Matt, who's waiting for his big break as a comic book writer. The pair have been friends since college and decide that they want to fulfill a pact they made back then, having a baby, or Gaby, the old-fashioned way. It's a modern rom-com that has awkward moments between the lead characters and a genuinely sweet-natured center. Adam Driver plays Matt's coworker, Neil, who's adorable, goofy, and awkward. He's been known for his dramatic roles, but Gaby offers a glimpse into the actor's comedic skills. Plus, his rant about Cyclops' affair with Emma Frost and his wholesome friendship with Matt are what make us love the movie just that much more. Next is number 9, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So we mentioned that we're only looking at critic scores, right? Because if you looked at the audience score for The Last Jedi, it wouldn't even make it to the top 50. But thankfully, it's got a 91% fresh rating, so we're good to talk about it. Now, whether you liked the sequel trilogies is a subjective thing. The Force Awakens felt too derivative of A New Hope, and The Rise of Skywalker was lukewarm at best, with a few standout performances. But Adam's nuanced performance as Kylo Ren took the cake for us. As a character, Ren always has something bubbling underneath the surface, and you never know if it's rage, conflict, or a really weird affection for Rey. Sometimes you want to give the poor guy a hug, and other times you feel like slapping the smugness off his face. But there's no denying that he was a complex and terrifying villain with fully realized motivations. Star Wars fans may be picky about their favorite characters, but one thing they all agree on is that Adam Driver was born to play Kylo Ren, and he didn't disappoint. At number 8, it's one of our favorites, Logan Lucky. This movie put Steven Soderbergh back on the map. While it isn't dripping in swagger like the Ocean's trilogy, it's still one of the funniest and smartest heist movies we've seen yet. Adam teamed up with Channing Tatum and Daniel Craig to create an oddly hilarious trio. He plays the reluctant Clyde Logan, who's roped into his brother Jimmy's plan to rob a NASCAR racetrack in West Virginia. Channing and Daniel are spot on as usual, but Adam brings his A-game as a loving brother with a heart and a dose of deadpan humor. Oh, and he's got a sexy southern accent and a prosthetic arm. That ought to be enough just by itself. No? Up next is number 7, Inside Llewyn Davis. Standing at 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, Inside Llewyn Davis is beloved by fans for its depiction of the folk scene in 1960s New York. While it doesn't quite reach the heights that No Country for Old Men did, it's still one of the Coen brothers' best films yet. Now, most of the film revolves around Llewyn Davis, played brilliantly by Oscar Isaac. He's a struggling folk singer, trying to maintain his independence whilst trying to deal with the music industry's need for commercialization. So, as a result, Adam Driver plays a smaller supporting role as Al Cody, another musician, just like Llewyn. Even though it's a small part, it's highly memorable, especially considering that the movie also features John Goodman, Justin Timberlake, and Carey Mulligan. Like Matt in Gaby, Al Cody's another awkward yet lovable goof who has mad pipes and can sing for days. It was also one of the first times fans got a chance to see Adam's singing chops. Now for number 6, Frances Ha. This film looks like it's straight out of the 50s. It was filmed in gorgeous black and white, and the monochrome aesthetic helps add colorful layers to all the performances. The story follows a coming-of-age story of Frances, a relatable and charming 27-year-old dancer, and her friends. One of them is Lev, played by Adam, who serves as Frances' one-time roommate. He's cheeky, eccentric, and wears the hell out of a bowler hat. Frances Ha marked Adam's first collaboration collaboration with director Noah Baumbach, setting the stage for one of those actor-director relationships that we've come to love in Hollywood, like Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro. Coming in at number 5, The Meyerowitz Stories. If you haven't watched this one, you're gonna love the dysfunctional relationships of the 3 Meyerowitz children. They reunite after a long time for a retrospective of their dad's artwork, whose legacy is now fading. This marks the 3rd collaboration between Adam and Baumbach, and also features standout performances by Dustin Hoffman, Ben Stiller, and Adam Sandler. Just like Inside Llewyn Davis, Adam has a smaller supporting role as Randy, one of Matthew's best clients. But instead of being awkward and goofy, he plays it smooth with a cool charm. He's a young man with too much money to spend, and we'd watch the movie again just to see him knock his limited lines out of the park. At number 4, it's Driver's breakout role in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Before The Force Awakens was released in 2015, mainstream audiences knew little about the budding star, but it was his breakout role as Kylo Ren that sent him to superstardom. We've already talked about his excellent, layered performance as a tortured Sith Lord in The Last Jedi, but this movie had a different challenge for the actor. For context, Kylo Ren is an original character and the son of Princess Leia and Han Solo, but more importantly, he's the grandson of Darth Vader. Adam had pretty big shoes to fill if he was going to follow in Vader's footsteps as a compelling villain. And knowing just how protective fans are of the Star Wars franchise, it isn't easy making your debut as a new character, but it's safe to say that he didn't disappoint. He spends the first half of the movie wearing a badass mask that distorts his voice and makes him sound intimidating. But we all know there's an emotional, passionate man inside. Up next is number 3, Marriage Story. It's interesting how 3 out of the 10 highest-rated Adam Driver movies feature a collaboration between him and Noah Baumbach. Marriage Story follows Charlie, a stage director, and his actress wife Nicole. The pair have a kid together, and they're going through a nasty divorce. It's a surprisingly raw and honest look at the heartbreaks, conflicts, and disasters that can sometimes plague a couple, especially if they have a child stuck between them. Adam's performance as Charlie earned him a nod at the Oscars for Best Actor, and we're not surprised. One particular scene features the married couple at each other's throats, hurling verbal abuse at each other. It ends with Charlie punching a wall and telling Nicole that he wishes she were dead. It's brutal, it's devastating, and it's one of the many scenes where Adam shows off his skills as an actor. Plus, the clip's been used as a meme on Twitter, so at least there's an upside to it. In second place, it's Patterson. Jim Jarmusch's Patterson has Adam playing the title character in one of his best performances yet. Patterson's a mild-mannered, soft-spoken man who loves routine. He drives a bus, listens to his passengers' stories, and writes poetry in his notebook. His wife, Laura, dreams of opening her own cupcake business and being a country music star, and she also encourages him to publish his work. The film builds up to a surprisingly dramatic confrontation and shatters Patterson's otherwise quiet and unremarkable life. It's more character-driven if you really think about it, as it forces the actors to bring their A-game and adds layers of nuance to their characters. And that's something Adam excels at. He's sweet, gentle, and surprisingly restrained as Patterson, which makes it even better to watch the second time around. Finally, number 1, Black Klansman. It's not a surprise that Black Klansman takes the number 1 spot. Director Spike Lee uses history and comedy to explore the real story of Ron Stallworth, Colorado Springs' first African-American detective. Many critics hailed it as a fitting comeback for the director. The story follows Ron while he's working in the intelligence department. He notices an ad in the paper about the Ku Klux Klan needing new members for its Colorado chapter. He applies right away, posing as a white man. Ron then recruits his Jewish co-worker, the flannel-wearing, Flip Zimmerman to impersonate him at the rallies. Zimmerman is one of our favorite Adam Driver roles, since his deadpan style fits right in with the character. His performance earned him an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor, and it's clear to see why once you've watched the film. Not only is he subtle about his expressions, but his chemistry with John David Washington is what brings out the camaraderie between their characters. And that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for watching. So which is your favorite Adam Driver movie and why? We read all of your comments, so please let us know. As always, a like from our audience helps us out a bunch. And if you subscribe to our channel, it helps us come up with even better videos for you. Till next time,